Hello everybody, welcome to the Tabletop Inn. Today we are going to be playing... Oof, didn't realize that was so loud. Okay, well at least that works though. Today I'm going to be playing a basically one-player game of Stardew Valley. I figured the best way for me to learn it is just by playing through it, and since it seems like this game scales so well, you know, based on however many players are playing, I figured this is going to be the easiest way for me to learn it is just by playing through a couple of rounds. So I figured why not get a live stream going, and if anyone else wants to join in, they can say hi, we can hang out. If I'm making any mistakes, people can point it out. So without further ado, why don't I go ahead and switch over to the game board and we can get started. So hopefully everything's coming through well. I have a bit of a different setup today. I've got the mic in a different position, and hopefully it'll work out well for when we do gameplays with my friends that are usually with me. Today they are not. Obviously work is a thing. It is a very cold Tuesday. So, but hopefully this works out well. I'm actually sitting in a different chair than I usually do, but it sounded okay when I was sitting in my usual spot. So, excuse me. I've got the game pretty much set up for a one-player game, but I mean, really the only difference between setup as far as the number of players you need is just different pawns for the number of players. That's really it. Setup for this game is pretty simple. I mean, there is a lot to spread out onto the board. There's all these forage tiles that have to go out, all the tree tiles. You have to shuffle this season deck properly. You've got the mine decks. I've actually got the decks of... I keep forgetting their names, the community center bundles out there, but normally you'd only have one card out there per room. But I figured it'd just be easy because you can replace those cards if you don't like the ones you have. I figured, okay, if I don't like them, I'll just have the decks out. So if I want to replace them, it's just an easy, simple thing. I don't have to go digging for the decks or anything. I've got the 4 Grandpa Goals cards across the top. Completing all of these community center bundles and completing all 4 of those Grandpa Goals, that is the goal of the game. So you have to complete all 4 of those goals and complete all 6 of these community center bundles before the season deck runs out. Excuse me. Right now, I'm playing with the standard season. Excuse me. What that means is I'm not playing with the full, all the cards of the season deck. I believe there are 5 cards in each season. So it should make for a pretty decent game. The game also recommends that you start off with this as your first play. But I think when me and my friends go to play it, we'll probably play with maybe a couple more cards in there. We're not really looking for a quick game, and so far from what I've seen, this game looks simple-ish. I mean, it's going to take some time to learn all the nuances and everything, but I think this is still going to be a great game. It's been a long time since we've played anything cooperative, so I am looking forward to that. So, as I said, in the game, you're looking to complete these community center bundles and the 4 Grandpa Goals. You do that by basically doing exactly what the cards say. So usually the game has you start out by leaving all of these community center bundles unrevealed, and you'd have to take an action here at the community center to reveal them. I'm going to do things a little bit differently to somewhat help speed along the game. And yes, admittedly, it does help me win the game, but that's beside the point. I'm not really here to experience everything about the game in full length. I'm just here to make sure I understand all the rules, and just to show anyone that would like to watch how the game plays no matter what. So the way I'm going to do it is I have the crafts room bundle already revealed, and it says summer foraging. All we have to do is give 1 summer foraging tile. The way I know that is it's just these symbols, the sun and the mushroom is summer foraging, equal to the number of players, in this case 1. And that's why I say this game really scales well. So the only difference as far as setup is you need the additional player pawns. And then the other thing to consider, or to keep in mind, is the goals. All of the goals, and I'm pretty sure all the craft rooms, all scale based on the number of players. So you can see this one was the forageables equal to the number of players. You've got the raise animals, which is one of the goals, is you have to have the number of animals, equal to 2 times the player count. So in our case, we'd have to have 2 animals. So in our case here, make friends, we have to have 3 friends. In this case, we have to catch 1 legendary fish. And in this case, we have to donate 2... excuse me, so sorry. In this case, we have to deliver 2 either minerals or artifacts to the museum. So everything is scaled based on player count. Other than that, there's really no difference in setup, just the additional type of pawns, as I said. So to finish my thought, the way I'm going to do it is fairly similar to the board game. I've got the crafts room bundle already revealed. And after I finish this bundle, I think what I'm going to do is, in addition to having this action available as far as revealing them, mainly because we'd have to wait for summer, and obviously I don't want to push it off as far or any further than I want to. So in addition to being able to reveal them here at the community center for an action, as I complete this bundle, I will reveal the pantry, fish tank, and bulletin board if I haven't revealed them already. And as I complete the pantry, fish tank, and bulletin board, I'll reveal the vault in the boiler room. So let's say I've completed the crafts room bundle and I reveal these three. And then I complete the pantry bundle, I'll reveal the vault. And then if I complete any one of these three, I'll reveal the boiler room. That way I get them all revealed sooner, so I do kind of speed up the progression a little bit. We'll see if that's actually the case or if that actually slows it down. I'm not sure, but it's something that I wanted to try. You know, be a little more closer to what the video game was. I actually don't remember the exact order that they were revealed, but we're just gonna go with that. Also, I've got the, before I forget, I've got the fish track set up down here with everything we need. Unfortunately, there's no legendary fish that are out yet, so that's unfortunate. I need to stop hitting the mic, but they'll come out soon. We'll definitely get some fishing done so we can get some of these fish revealed. So, looking through the various actions, from what I understand, they're all fairly straightforward. We'll start here at the farm. We can collect from animals. I believe that action is just you collect the different commodities that you can get from animals. We'll read straight from the rule book here. You can spend one action to roll 3 animal dice, which are these right here. They've just got the different animals on the faces. So you roll all 3 of these. Each animal tile that I will own will generate 1 resource each time it is activated. Activated being every time its face is shown on the die. Excuse me. For example, if a player has 2 cows, a roll of 1 cow would grant 2 milks. A roll of 2 cows would grant 4. So it's not necessarily the amount of tiles you have, it's the amount that they are rolled. So I could have 2 sheep and I would end up with 4 wool, I believe is how that works. So yeah, 2 and 4. I'm tired. So another thing is we need to make sure the animals are happy. Usually in the video game we would pet them. We obviously can't do that here. So animals flip to their happy side generate quality animal goods. Animals can be flipped to happy by an end of turn effect. So those are the end of turns effects we can do. We'll go over that whenever we get around to that. So that is collecting from animals. The other one action we can do at the farm is watering crops. That'll be a huge important thing that we do. It might be one of the first actions we usually take for a while, depending on how we do for money. But we'll see how it goes. Usually, when I've played the video game, I usually go ham on farming for a while and get myself some decent income. Then I start kind of running around and do everything else. But we'll see if that translates here to the board game as well. So watering crops, we can spend 1 action to move all crops currently planted in the field slots 1 space to the right. If a crop moves off the track, this track right here, it is harvested and goes into our inventory. If you have no inventory space left, you must discard a resource to make room or discard the crop. We obviously don't want to discard the crop. So it's just saying here that for example, a parsnip plant right here, parsnip tile, it belongs on the second field space. We'll get to that a little more in a minute, but the space required is shown by the water drop and the number next to it. So this belongs at 2. So this will require 2 watering actions before it fell off the tile and would come into our inventory ready to be sold. So that's basically what watering the crops will do, is it'll move it across these tracks all the way until it falls off, and then we can sell it for the monies. Excuse me. So those are the 2 farm actions. We'll go ahead and move right along following the rule book here. It goes right down here to Marnie's barn, or Marnie's ranch, where we can buy animals. We can spend an action to visit Marnie and buy animals. All animals are available to choose from once you have the building that they require, the coop or the barn. Multiple animals can be purchased with a single action if you have enough gold. So we don't have to use 2 action to buy 2 chickens. We can just do 1 action and buy as many chickens as we want. It's saying that we're going to need the coop or the barn. We can get that from visiting Robin's carpentry shop up here. We'll get to that in a moment. But we have to have those buildings available before we can have a chicken or a chicken, rabbit, duck, or a cow, goat, or sheep. Because obviously the animals need a place to stay. We don't want them to just be out in the cold. That would be terrible. So that is the one action we can do down south. The rule book kind of goes this way here. But the river fishing action is all the way over here. We'll get to that once the rule book comes up on it, because that's the one thing I don't know a whole lot about, is exactly how the fishing works. And to me, that's probably one of the more complicated things, is trying to manage this fish track here. So coming over into the town, one action we can do is visit Pierre's shop and buy and plant seeds. We can spend one action to visit Pierre's general store, where you can buy seeds and sell resources, as many as you wish. Seeds cost 1 gold each and are planted immediately upon purchase into any field. Into NP's field, The crop's watering cost shows which number field it must be placed into. Normally 1 crop tile may be placed in each field slot, no stacking. So basically what that's saying is, we can only have 1 crop per tile, and all the crops we have, I didn't get to this. Oh, I did get to that. All the crops available only cost 1 gold. So that's obviously how we're going to make some money here, is everything only costs 1, but the parsnip sells for 2, the potato sells for 3, strawberry for 4, cauliflower for 5, and then they've also got their quality side on the other side. We're not going to get into that, but just know they do sell for more. I think it's 1 additional gold, but we'll figure that out once we get to it. We can also buy as many as we want for 1 action, so we could, in theory, buy 3 parsnips if we wanted to. Obviously, we don't want to do that because they don't stack, so that would be useless to us. But we could buy a parsnip, potato, and a strawberry if we wanted to for 3 gold. Not sure if that's the greatest option. When I play the board game, that's usually what I do. Usually I just go all in on parsnips for a while until I've gotten some more money back into the bank. Not sure if that's what I'm going to do this time. We'll see. It might just be something I try just to see what happens. But we'll get to that whenever the time comes. The other action we can do is we can go to the saloon to make a friend. To make a friend, we'll spend 1 action in town and reveal the top card of the villager deck, which is over here. If we are able, and if we want to, we can gift them a resource to make them our friend. Otherwise, we would discard them. To give them a gift, discard a resource from your inventory and keep the villager card and heart tokens. How many heart tokens you earn depends on the gift and the current season. So, what that's basically saying, we'll go ahead and draw one, and then I'll reshuffle the board here. We've got the wizard here. So, this was probably the worst card we could have drew as an example, because he doesn't love anything, nor does he hate anything, and he doesn't really give us a bonus for, or a special bonus for when the gift action comes up on those season cards. We'll see those soon. But basically what it's saying is, you know what? We're drawing a different card. Wizard, come on, bro, help me out here. So, different card, so we can get some good examples going here. So, let's say Willie here, he hates forageable items and he hates parsnips. Therefore, we do not want to gift him those. Actually, in the board game, you are not allowed to gift them those. It's just, you can't do that. But he does love fish. He loves a certain kind of 2 other kinds of minerals that I don't recognize right now because they don't have the same artwork as the game. But mainly, he does like fish. So if we were to gift him fish, and if we drew him when we're making a friend and we were to gift him fish, we would gain 2 heart tokens. Anything else, as long as it's not hated, would gift 1. Now, if we were doing this in the summertime, we would gain an additional heart. The bonus for when a gift icon is drawn on the season cards is we would gain 1 random fishing upgrade if we have him as a friend when the gift icon shows up on the season card. So that's nice. Any resource can be gifted when a gift symbol appears. Okay, so I think we covered everything as far as gift goes. I'll go ahead and reshuffle these real quick. Oh, and also if it matters to anyone, marrying is a thing in this. It is explained on page 23. I may go over that here before we play, or I may just wait to see if it comes up in the game. Actually, I might explain it because the mermaid's pendant, which is required, is 1 epic item, and getting epic items is kind of hard. So I'm actually not sure if we would actually get to that or not in this playthrough. We will see. So got that all shuffled up. So that was making a friend. That was a lot. One of the most complicated things in that, but I think after you played a couple times, it becomes pretty easy. The last town action we can take is at the community center. So we can spend one action to visit the community center, where we can reveal and or donate as much as you are able. Revealing bundles requires you to spend heart tokens. So I believe it is, we'll get to that, but completing bundles requires you to donate the resources listed on the bundles. Remember that to restore the community center, you must reveal and complete one bundle per room for a total of 6. Revealing bundles. To reveal a bundle, discard a number of heart tokens equal to the number of players, then either reveal the leftmost face down bundle card. So in our case, the next one we would reveal, if we were following these rules, which we might still, is the pantry. Or we can replace a revealed bundle card with the new face-up bundle card matching the room. So let's say, for example, I actually did this during setup and I just made the executive decision to just change it anyway. But we drew the winter foraging bundle on that the crafts room. And if we were going to be playing by my rules, obviously we would never complete the community center. So that's why I was saying we might do a hybrid of the two if we run into a situation where we pull up one of those bundles and it's something we won't be able to complete until winter. I just didn't want the first one that we have revealed to be the winter foraging, so we'd pretty much never touch the community center until the last round in the game, and then we'd try to speed run it. That would probably just fall apart. The only reason why that would probably be a good thing is the vault, because I'm pretty sure the vault, all the requirements for those rewards is money. So obviously we want to put that off to the very end to where we have the most amount of money, so it's just not a problem. Yep, so we've got the room specific ones all separated. Excuse me. Bundles completed when players have donated the correct amount of resources. The number of donations is equal to the number of players. Place donated resources into the bundle card to show onto the bundle card, to show progress. You may place resources onto a bundle even if you don't have enough to complete it. Once its requirements has been met, clear away the resources. We either return them to the supply or discard, and remove the bundle card from the board. This room has been restored. So basically it's just like the game. You obviously don't have to go to the community center and complete a bundle all at once. Usually players do, but that's just because they know what's required. But obviously a first time player, they're not going to remember what is required in every single bundle, so they'll just keep visiting there as they get things and drop it off if they've got it. When we complete a bundle, reveal a reward item and give it to any player. The first 5 bundles completed grant regular items from this red deck here. The final bundle will grant an epic item, the blue deck here. So that is all of the town actions and everything to do with the community center, which is, again, one of the ways to win the game by completing those six rooms there. We come over here to the, they call it the forage area. This is just the east side of Pelican Town. So the forage, we can go to Clint and visit his blacksmith to open geodes. If you have any geodes in the inventory, you may visit Clint. Spend one action to break open any number of geodes. For each geode, roll 1 Stardew die, which are these die here. See if this actually shows up. If I'm going to camera enough, I can. Cool. So we'll roll 1 of those die and then consult the chart on the board to see the result and discard the geode. So right here, there's a pretty tiny chart that you will 100% not be able to see, but basically it has every type of geode on it on a row, and it has every symbol on the die, the heart, the Junimo, and the star drop. And then going down, it just shows the list, the different things you could possibly get when you roll the die. So fairly simple. We get the geodes from the mines, and I believe you can possibly get them from foraging. I'm not sure on that one. You should be able to, but either way. So that is opening geodes, and it does say here that spend 1 action for each geode, roll 1 started die, consult the chart on the board to see your result, and discard the geode. Though if the result is an ore, you can just flip the geode over. So it does say the so the geodes here is the regular geode on one side, and then you flip it over. In this case, it's copper ore. So, and I believe it's just the same for all the geodes. For the regular geodes, it's copper ore. For the frozen ones, it's iron. For the magma geodes, it's gold. And for the omni geodes, it's iridium. Just like the game, those are the possible things you can get from those geodes as far as ore goes. So that's the blacksmith action, excuse me. Open geos is what it's called. The other one here in the forage area is donating to the museum. If you have artifacts or minerals, you may visit the Gunther to donate them to the museum. You spend 1 action to donate any number of artifacts or minerals from your inventory to the museum. Each tile donated earns you 1 heart token. Each tile must be placed into an empty slot that matches the letter on the left-hand side of the tile. The museum has 8 slots, each letter with A through H. So, let's see. Let me go ahead and see if I can bust out, get lucky enough and pull out an artifact from this minerals and... Oh, cool. Here, minerals works though. So, in this case, the Neptunite has an H on the bottom left here. So, we would need to put this Neptunite on the H slot. That has covered up the H slot. So, if we draw anything that has an H, which I'm sure I won't, but oh, here, there's one right on top. So if we were to draw the big site, when we would go to do another mineral action, we would not be able to donate to the museum because the H slot has already been covered. So that's interesting. And I mean, it's kind of going into it where you couldn't donate multiples of the same thing to the museum. So that makes some kind of sense at least. It says here at the bottom, if you fill slots A, B, C, and D, so this row right here, we gain an epic item. If we fill slots E, F, G, and H, we would get an epic item. So if you fill any of these rows, you gain that epic item. So that's one way to gain epic items. Moving up here to the mountain area. The first one is visiting Robin's carpentry shop. We talked about this a little bit. To build buildings, buy buildings in this case. If you have enough materials, wood and stone, and gold, you may visit Robin to construct buildings. Spend 1 action and discard the required amount of materials and gold listed on any buildings you wish to construct. Then take the appropriate building tiles. So we talked about needing the coop and the barn to have chickens and cows and so forth. In our case right here, the coop costs 10 gold and 2 wood. How we gain wood is moving across those paths and picking them up from these trees. We'll talk about that in a minute. I believe that goes into... that gets explained later in the rulebook. If it doesn't, I missed it and we'll come back to it. So we have to have those required resources in order to build those buildings. Very expensive. So... that is the buy buildings action in the mountains. The other one, which is probably the other more complicated part in this, aside from fishing, is the exploring mines action. So when we explore the mines, the mines, I'm reading off the rulebook here, excuse me. The mine is a source for stones, ore, geodes, and more. Excuse me. But beware of dangerous monsters. Excuse me, I gotta turn this off. Spend 1 action at the mountain location to roll Stardew dice and see what you encounter. So, this is... I don't know if I'd want to say more complicated, but there is a pretty hefty part to this. So, if we look at this map here, which is one of the many maps in this deck, we see a grid-like pattern here with the icons from the Stardew dice on them. So what we do is when we go explore the mine, we'll roll these dice. So let's just say, for example's sake, we rolled the heart and the Junimo. So now we would just consult this chart here, and for a heart and a Junimo, we can either advance down a level in the mines, which basically mean flipping this card or discarding this card and going to the next level. Or we could get a bug meat. I'm not sure exactly what the bug meat are for yet, but I'm guessing they're used for fishing because I believe in the game you can use bug meat for bait, fishing bait. So that's basically the mining. You've got the current monster's abilities shown in this level. So if we were to end up on one of these skull icons here, we would gain 1 stone. Not really a terrible thing, but stone's also somewhat useless, I believe. But obviously if we gained, we can also gain stone from here. And then I believe if we, let me just say I believe, let me just go ahead and look and see what we get. So the current map shows 1 item card. So I'm looking through here, gain 1 available ore, sometimes 2. Okay, so it's whenever the if we're on the same level, I believe. Man, this is the part I knew was gonna trip me up quite a bit. Current map shows what outcome of your roll will be. Use the results from your roll to indicate. Okay, yep. Monsters are shown, staircases. So monsters are shown in the level 1 cards. If your result is a skull, trigger the monster ability on the level card. We talked about that. The available ords and geos, that's the part that's tripping me up a little bit, but let me go through the rulebook. Staircases. So staircases are also on the map, I believe. Staircases help you reach lower levels, but don't forget that stones can be used as an end of turn effect to descend. Oh, that's talking about the building stairs at end of turn. Understood. So, levels. Stones equal to the number of players. Okay, so building the staircases is basically using enough stone equal to the number of players. That's how building the stones and one of the end of turn effects is. We'll get to that in a minute. We'll come back. Anytime we descend, we reveal the next mine level and replace the map card. If we're on level 12, we only change the map card. So there's only 12 levels of these mines that we go through. So that's all. So that was a little interesting. So looking through and seeing the different map cards and how those are changed up. So I'm guessing the map cards, every time you go to the mines, it's a new map card. The rulebook actually doesn't say. Well, we'll come back to that. That might be something I need to look at a little more in detail with something else, because something's not adding up on that one. So we'll come back to that, exploring the mines. Now we're moving on to the fishing. So there's 3 areas that we can fish. We've got lake fishing, ocean fishing, and river fishing. Fishing allows you to catch fish and occasionally gain items. To fish, you visit one of the 3 fishing locations and spend 1 action. The fish track. To gain a fish, you must be in the fishing location matching 1 or more of the fish on the fish track, denoted by the tile colors and icons. So in this case, an eel, we would need to be in the ocean to catch that, as shown by this little square icon underneath this fish, also by the color, which is gray. So, and then we'd have to fulfill the requirements to claim the tile. So as we also saw in that eel, the requirements is rolling 3 hearts when we roll all 3 Stardew dice. So we would have to roll 3 hearts in order to pick up the eel. So it does say here, it is possible to catch more than 1 fish, but remember that each die can only be put toward a single fish. Okay, so it is saying, so let's say we rolled 3 hearts for the eel. 3 hearts is also a requirement for the tuna here. We would not be able to pick up both of these. We can only pick up one or the other. So it is possible, let's say here, we've got the perch here that's worth 2 hearts, and the smallmouth bass, that's worth 1. For examples purposes, if these were in the same area, which they're not, we could pick up both of these at once if we rolled 3 hearts. So sorry for bumping the mic, or the camera. Moving on to legendary fish. There are 4 legendary fish in the fishing bag. They're caught like normal fish. The major difference is that legendary fish are never discarded from the fish track due to fish track movement from season cards. If fish track movement would push them off the board, instead we return them to the fishing bag. When sold, donated, or gifted, they are discarded as usual. So there is a little bit of a fish track here. I believe this gets explained a little later, but the legendary fish do not just naturally fall off of this track. Crab pots. For all purposes, crab pot fish are treated like other fish, except that they are not caught using Stardew dice. Instead, during a fishing action, for every bug meat, there it is, you discard, you may take 1 crab pot fish that matches your current fishing location. This is in addition to your regular fishing roll, so it is possible to catch crab pot fish and other fish during a single action. So that's what the use of the bug meat are. So then there is also trash. If you catch no fish of any kind, you may take a trash tile from the fish track. Trash is not generally useful, but removing it frees up a slot from the fish track, and like all tiles, can be discarded from inventory whenever you wish. So obviously, just like in the game, there were trash things. So you've got the algae, the broken CDs, the newspaper, etc. They don't do anything, they just take up inventory space, but still getting them off that fish track would be helpful so you can make room for more fish. Treasure chests. If you catch a fish to the immediate left of the treasure chest tile, discard the treasure chest tile and gain the item. So there are treasure chest treasure chest. That's a mouthful right there. Let me see if I can get a treasure chest out of this bag. Oh, he busted out a legendary fish, the glacier fish. There's what they look like. Very nice artwork on these tiles. I love them. So there's a glacier fish, legendary. There's a trash. I don't want to look at those. I want to see a tile with a chest on it. I think I see one. Ah, okay. So here's that chest icon that I was talking about. So let's say instead of this tuna, the treasure chest was right here. So if we were to catch this fish, we would also gain this treasure chest. So that's what that means. And then we can just pick up a regular item from the red deck. Go ahead and put these back and give them a good shuffle. And now we're talking about shuffling. The fishing bag contains all fishing related tiles, regular fish, crab pot fish, legendary fish, trash tiles, and treasure chest tiles. Draw from this bag whenever you need to replenish the fish track. Fishing tiles are never returned to the fishing bag except for legendary fish discarded by fish track movement. Here is our fish bag, which is down here, just a little off camera. So that's the fishing, and again, one of the more complicated mechanisms of the game. Basically, it is just more than moving around and taking actions. You know, there's a lot more to it. So that is all the available actions that we can take throughout the game. There are end of turn effects. When a player, we talked about it a little bit, when a player ends their turn and returns to the farmhouse, they may choose one type of end turn effect to trigger. The player may perform this effect as many times as they are able. So the first effect was building staircases. We can discard a number of stones equal to the number of players to descend into the mine, in our case, only one. So we can discard one stone to go down one level in the mine, which means we would get rid of that card and get rid of that map. Excuse me. We can also pet animals. We can discard an amount of heart tokens that's equal to the number of hearts displayed on an animal tile to flip it over to its happy side. So we've got the rabbit here. It's just the most easiest one to pick up. You see that it has one heart, which means it requires one heart token to turn to its happy side when we pet it. So it costs hearts to turn them over to their happy side to get quality goods. But I believe that is a one-time thing. Once you do it, they're permanently on their happy side. We can remove one Joja, discard one heart token, or 5 gold to remove a Joja tile from any space. Joja tiles will be explained here in a moment. We can also upgrade a tool. We can discard the resource listed on your starting tool to advance to its next level. So in our case, usually there are professions in the game that are spread out amongst the players. In a single player game, we are all the professions. We do everything. My camera isn't focusing very well, so hopefully that helped a little bit. There it goes. Stupid thing. Thought I'd have to do something here, but we don't, so sorry about that. So we can upgrade the tools that we have. As I was saying, usually these tools are spread out throughout the players, but in our case, we are all the professions. The different professions are mining, fishing, foraging, and farming. Since obviously there's only one of us, we have to be able to do all of that. But in the other versions, certain players could only do certain things. So in our case, the training rod, or in the fishing's case, you'd have to have the rod, so other players couldn't go fishing because they didn't have the rod to do that. Certain players couldn't water crops if they don't have the watering can. I believe certain players couldn't go buy crops because they don't have the hoe here, etc., excuse me. So the upgrade tile is basically saying that this requires one copper ore to upgrade and turn it into a copper hoe. So that is upgrading in a nutshell. Fairly basic. There's something else about the professions that's different in the solo play. We'll get to that in a moment. Season end cards, I don't want to dig through that because I've already shuffled it. I can turn it on to the bottom here. No, I can't, because the last day of winter is here. So we're just going to pretend that I didn't see that, because I didn't. Well, this won't be a good example, though. We'll just look at the rule book. How about that? So, in the season deck, there are 4 season end cards, one each for spring, summer, fall, and winter. When it is drawn, follow the instructions on the card. Remove all forageable tiles and trees from the board and place the next season's trees and forageables in the appropriate spots. Now each player draws 2 profession upgrades that match the profession on their player mat. They look at the cards and may keep 1. If they already have 2 profession upgrades, they may discard 1 to make space. In solo player case, you draw, there's actually a little bit for solo here. At the end of the season, we draw 3 cards from any combination of the 4 profession decks and reveal them simultaneously. Then we can choose 1 to keep. So we can choose any deck that we want, and we can draw 4 of them and choose 1 instead of the usual 2. And then finally, we draw the next season card, which will be a regular or festival card, carry out its instructions, and move on to the planning and action phases as usual. So, going through here, we talked a little bit about it. Again, So talk about the profession upgrades. We'll gain 1 at the end of each season. At the resources, other tiles, we've got the Joja Tiles. Here we go. Occasionally, a season card will call for a Joja Tile to be drawn and placed. To do this, draw from the stack of face-down Joja Tiles, and reveal it. The icon shows which board action it affects. Place it near this action as a reminder. From now on, it will alter or possibly block that target action until it's removed. Removing Joja Tiles is an end-turn effect. You can discard 1 heart or 5 gold to remove a Joja Tile from the board. We talked about that a little bit. Before I forget, there's what the end of season cards look like. We'll take a look at it whenever we draw it. So that is everything. Let me take a look here. I feel like there was something I forgot. So we've got the season phases. So they talked about the different icons that show up on these season cards. There's a little bit of what they look like along with the festival cards. The leftmost one is the regular season cards. And we've got a list of actions that could be done whenever we draw these season cards. These season cards do not affect your regular actions, but they must be completed before you move on to your planning and action phase. So in step 1, this is in the how to play version. The player with the pet token, which is the first player, draws a season card and follows its instructions from top to bottom. Festival cards have a single effect written on the card, whereas regular season cards show a unique sequence of icons. I believe in festivals, you can still play through a round, but obviously you won't get potential bonuses or drawbacks from the regular season cards. So the first one is a star. We can get some quality crops. We flip any planted crop so that its quality side is face up. I believe that is only 1 crop per icon. We also have rain. Move all planted crops 1 space to the right. The best thing ever. Anything that moves off the track is harvested and goes to the starting player. So, very nice. Got the fish move, so that's how the fish track down here moves to the left. Discard the two rightmost fish tiles from the fish track. Slide tiles remaining to the right to fill empty slots and draw new tiles to populate the vacant slots. Legendary fish are not discarded, but instead returned to the bag. So they, I think I said that the legendary fish don't fall off the track. They do fall off the track, but instead of being discarded from the game, they're just put back in the bag. My apologies. The gift icon, here's where the gift comes in. Each player chooses one of their befriended villagers and activates their gift ability, then trigger the effect of all non-villager cards with gift symbols. Trigger the effect of all non-villager cards with gift symbols. I think there's other items that have gift symbols on there. We'll see them though, potentially. The other one is the pet wanders. The starting player passes the pet token to the player on their left. We've got a green crow, those damn crows. Choose one of your crops in the green field to be discarded. So we've got 3, 2, and 1 are in the green area. 3, 4, and 5 are in the red area. 3 is in both green and, my goodness, green and red. So now we're talking about the red crow. Choose one of your crops in a red field to be discarded. Same thing as the green. Got events. The starting player draws an event card and resolves its effect, which are the green decks of cards right there. Got the Joja Tile, draw a Joja Tile, yada yada yada. And then we have the shipping bin. Players may trade and sell resources. So usually this is only done in the planning phase, but with the shipping bin, you can do that anytime or during this beginning season phase. Mainly the selling one would be important because the trading one, obviously you're about to do that anyway. And I believe it's any number of items you can trade. So, looking at the planning phase here, this is the second phase. Players may trade item cards or resource tiles during this phase, as well as discuss their intentions for the next turn. Each player places their pawn onto any location. This does not count as movement. Once everyone is happy with their placement, proceed to the action phase. So the different actions, basically, so this is what I was forgetting, was getting the foraging, so we're coming up on that right now. The action phase, we can either do an action, so a double action wherever we're at, or we can do an action, move, and then an action. So we can take 2 actions here in town. We can maybe buy some seeds or sell some things and then visit the community center, so on and so forth. Or we can buy some seeds, move down to ocean fishing, and go fishing. And then here's where it talks about movement allows foraging. Whenever a player moves their pawn along a path, they may take one of the face-down forageable or tree tiles, not both. So you cannot take both foraging and trees during one movement. Also, I believe that's also saying when they say that the initial move to a space doesn't count as movement, that also means you cannot move along the space and pick up the forageables. It has to be an actual movement action that you take during the action phase. So automatic, and this is automatic and does not go against the allowance of 2 actions. Most forageable tiles and some trees can be harvested from more than one path. So for example, going from here, the farm, down here to Marnie's ranch, you could trigger this one, this one, this one, and this one. So either these 2 trees or these 2 forageables because they go down this same path. I believe that's what they're talking about. Or you can come through here where you can either get this tree, or this forageable. I believe that's a better example because I think this one is more along this path than it is this one. So that's how foraging works. If we reveal, if anyone's played the game, they're showing that little worm icon that you see. For anyone that hasn't, this one right here is the tile they're talking about. So if we were to reveal one of these tiles, we look at the bottom icon, bottom right, to see if we found an artifact or a mineral. So it's either a rusted gear or a little quartz looking thing or a gem looking thing. Probably not a good idea to call it a quartz. We would discard this tile and draw from the artifact and mineral bag, and we keep drawing until we either draw an artifact or a mineral, because obviously they're in the same bag, so you have the possibility of drawing the ones that are not correct. So, huge mouthful. There's a lot going on in the game. I think what I'm going to do to keep this fairly short and simple is I'm only going to do one season, but I'm going to try to do as much as I can during this season to show off the game as much as I can. We are planning on doing a full playthrough of this soon, but mainly in the interest of time, and it's getting a little bit late, and I've actually got some of my friends texting me right now asking if I'm going to get online to play. So I think just because of all that, I'm only going to do one round just to get a feel for the game. So to start off, players have 3 gold to start during setup, which we have. And I think I'm going to be bold here. I think I am going to be bold. I'm going to start by buying some seeds. Going to spend all of my money. This is probably going to bite me in the butt. So 1, 2, 3. We're going to buy a parsnip. Plant it on the number 2 space. We're going to buy a potato. And boil them, mash them, stick them in a 2. But before that, we got to put them on the 3rd space. And we're going to pick up a strawberry and put it on the 4th space. So we are flat broke. So this was, again, moving from here to here is not in action. This is the initial phase. So we bought the seeds here at the piers. Now we have either one action that we can do here in the town, or we can move and take an action somewhere else. I think because we can't really make a friend right now, we don't have any resources to potentially turn into gifts. So that would basically be a waste for us. We don't want to do that. I am thinking I want to go check the mines out and see what that's about. I've been getting really lucky with these die rolls, and when I've just been play rolling, and I've been rolling a lot of hearts and Junimos. So let's see if that holds up. So we're gonna move here and explore the mines. As we're moving here, I'm gonna pick up this forageable tile, which is a daffodil. So, and it's a quality daffodil. I don't know if they're all quality or not, but there's that for you. That's really neat. So we now have this daffodil in our inventory. Just to note, players only have a limit of 6 spots for an inventory. So keep that in mind. In our case, I'm going to give ourselves 12s because we're the only player. So just to help us out a little bit. So we are here in the mines. Now we're going to go ahead and roll the Stardew die and see what we come up with. Look at that. No way. You know what? We're going to go for a re-roll because that just seems way too scripted. There we go. 2 star drops. So we have a choice here, and it's not really a hard choice we're going to make here. We actually don't really get anything. because there are only 2 star drops, which only meet right here. So a little unfortunate. We don't get anything from the mines today, but that's okay. We got to explore and we got to pick up a spring foraging. So that's nice. We could potentially turn that into a gift for someone. So we've taken our action here in town. We've taken our action here at the mines. I'm gonna guess that this gets revealed and that is the new map for the mines when we go back in, because usually the mines are different every time you go in. So I'm guessing that's how that works. If that's not how it works, my apologies. I'll look into it a little more just to make sure. So we are here at the end of turn now. We've done all of our actions. We've done all of our movement. I believe not moving from here back to the farm does not count as movement, so we won't pick up that tile. So end of movement. We've got, I didn't even reveal a card, excuse me. Let's go ahead and do that now. Although this really won't do anything for us because it's just turning crops over, which we didn't have, and selling, which we didn't have. So not really a big deal, but forgot to do that. You're supposed to do that here at the start of the round. Just mashed all those off the board. So here's an up close look at those season cards here. We'll take a look at this next one here shortly. So no help from the season card, but that's okay. We could have really used that now, but oh well. So end of turn, we can build staircases, which we can't do because we don't have stone. We don't have any animals to pet. There are no Joja Tiles to remove. Not like we'd have the money to do that anyway. Or we could upgrade our starting tools. We do not have the resources for that. So that's pretty much everything we can do. We're going to go ahead and draw this next card here. Oof! Oof! No! So the very top thing is a dreaded green crow. Unfortunate. I was really hoping for at least a red crow if we were going to draw one. Big, sad. Which one do I want to give up? The potato. The potato's furthest along from being harvested. A little bit of a risk, but that's okay. Very sad. We've also got the gift icon here. We can't do anything with that because we don't have any villagers or items with the gift icon, but we do have an event icon here. So let's go ahead and draw that event card now. Here we've got the Traveling Merchant. We keep this. Discard at the river fishing to gain at the river fishing space to gain 2 items. Very nice, and I like the artwork on this card. So if you know anything about the game, you know that the Traveling Merchant sets up right down here. Right, actually specifically right about here. So when they usually have some various goods that you can get and buy, you know, usually it's some out of season things, some rare seeds, things like that. So if we were to go down here to river fishing and we discard this card, we could gain 2 items. That's not bad, honestly. Very interesting. We could do some fishing while we're there too and see if we're lucky enough to get that perch that's on there. The last icon on this card was the shipping bin. We do have this daffodil, but I think I'm going to hold on to it for a potential gift. So I think actually that's what we're going to do here. We're going to go down to this river fishing tile to start off the match, the round here, and we'll do this river fishing. I'm looking here to make sure I understand gifting correctly. Any resource can be gifted as long as it's a no gift. So we can spend money if you're able to wish to. Otherwise, okay, yep. So if we are able to use this daffodil as a gift as long as it doesn't say on their card that they don't like it. I believe the only one that doesn't like a daffodil is Haley, but we'll see. So we're here at river fishing. What we're going to do is we're going to discard this Traveling Merchant card, which will let us gain 2 items. The first one, Magic Rock Candy. So we can discard during our turn to execute any end of turn effect once for free. Woo! Nice. So we could use that to upgrade potentially, or maybe move down 1 level in the mines. Who knows? Next one is Geodes and Ores. Discard during our turn to gain any geo or ore from the supply. Nice. Okay. So we've got some choices here. Let's go ahead and do this fishing first. So to get this perch, which is the only fish here in the river fishing area, we need 2 hearts. Am I going to get 2 hearts? I highly doubt it. Definitely not. We got a Junimo and a Star Drop. Unlucky roll, but that's okay. Mainly went there so we can get these 2 items. So not a huge loss. But I think, ooh, I didn't realize that there was a space between the river fishing and making a friend. I'm not used to that from the game. So I think what we're going to do instead, because we won't be able to make it to town to make a friend, so I think what we're going to do is we've done the river action here. We're going to move back over here to watering crops. When we do that, we can choose to take one of the foraging tiles or wood. I think we're going to take one of the wood tiles here. So this is what they look like up close now that I can pick them up. Very nice pink with the fall or the spring trees on them. You just flip them over and you've got the wood tile. And the X is shown here. This is a no gift item. It cannot be gifted at the saloon. So now we've got a daffodil and a wood in our inventory, and we're going to water these crops. Now I meant to look up watering real quick because I forgot exactly what that is. So we spend one action, one space to the right, all of them. Okay, just wanted to be sure. So watering just like that. So now our parsnip is one step closer to falling off this board and being harvested. We definitely want to do that as soon as possible before we draw another freaking green crow. So that is the end of our turn there for this day of spring. Don't think we really want to do any end of turns. Thinking about maybe potentially using one of these items that we have, the magic rock candy or the geodes ore. This is technically part of the planning phase, but I guess before we do that, let's go ahead and do this in order. During the next round here, we've got, all right. So we've solved this top to bottom. It's really nice. So we've got quality crops at the top. And as you can see next, we have rain. So I think what we're gonna do, we're gonna flip this parsnip over to its quality side, and then we're gonna resolve the rain effect, which means the strawberry gets drawn off to 2, and this parsnip falls off. So we have a parsnip now, a quality parsnip, worth 3 gold. That's very nice. Very lucky draw. That's where all my luck went today. We've also got the pet icon where the usually the starter player icon will rotate. We don't need to worry about that. And we also have fish track movement. So everything moves to the left, or the right, excuse me. So the tuna and eel fall off. These all move. And sorry about that, I muted my mic while I shuffled the bag. We've got a sardine that we drew first. And check this out. We've got an anglerfish, which is legendary. So we might be making our way over to lake fishing sometime very soon to try to nab that bad boy. We only need 1 star drop to pick this thing up. So that's really good. And we only have to catch a legendary fish to satisfy this gold card, Grandpa Gold card. So we've got a lot of options to make to work with here. So I think we are going to make our way to the lake and try to fish. And then what we can do, we've also got, actually I didn't finish this card because we have a shipping bin here. So this is really turning out well because I think we're gonna sell this parsnip that we just got for 3 gold. Look at that. From 1 crop, we have made the money back that we spent at the beginning of the game 2 turns ago. Bam, 3 gold. So we've resolved all the actions, on the spring card here. I definitely think we're gonna go fishing and try for this angler. And then I think we're gonna come down here to Gus to see if we can make a friend. That's the plan, that's the goal. So we're gonna go over here and do some fishing, roll 2 die. We could also potentially catch the smallmouth bass if we roll a heart. Well, we rolled a heart, but we also rolled a Junimo. So a little unfortunate, but we can pick up this fish, so we'll go ahead and do that. Smallmouth bass right here. We'll slide these over, give the bag a shuffle. I'll go ahead and mute again. There we go. So now we have the red mullet right here. This is the next one. I didn't show you the anglerfish tile, excuse me. So there's the anglerfish right there. So I've actually never seen the anglerfish. I didn't do a whole lot of fishing in the video game. It was not my cup of tea. So, a little bit of a bust on the lake fishing, but that's okay. What we're going to do is we're going to move down here to Gus's to make a friend. We're going to pick up this foraging tile, I think, which is a leek, which we can sell for 2 gold. We might be doing that very soon because our inventory is getting a little full. So, we're going to make a friend. So, we are going to draw the top card from the villagers. And we've got our friend Demetrius. Luckily enough, he doesn't hate any of the things that we have, which is good because we're going to give him one of these forageables, I think. What he doesn't like are ores and geos and animal products, but he does like artifacts and minerals. Excuse me, I'm not doing a very good job of holding the card up. And his ability is we gain 1 random foraging upgrade when the gift icon is shown. And his birthday is in the summer. Unfortunately, we are not here during that season. But I still think we're going to gift him this leek that we just picked up so we can get him on our tableau. So we're going to discard our leek. And we now have Demetrius as a friend. He's off to the side here. You can't really see him very well. So we have Demetrius. We gain 1 heart icon, I believe, from that. So now we have 1 heart. We're cooking with petrol now, baby. So, we've done our action at the lake fishing, we've moved across here, picked up a forageable, and we've made a friend. We are done for the day. So, we still don't really have any need to do any of these. We could potentially upgrade our items here. So we use this to make room for crops, which is just planting. Looking at the hoe here, the copper hoe, when you buy and plant seeds, one of the tiles purchased may stack onto an occupied field. So that's how we can stack items, is with the upgraded hose. Very nice. So if we were to buy 2 parsnips, we could stack them on top of each other. Training rod, we could upgrade that to a bamboo rod. When we fish, you may reroll 1 of the fishing die. That's nice. The pickaxe to a copper pickaxe is, if your mining roll isn't a skull, if your mining roll isn't a skull, you may shift your result by 1 in direction shown above. So in this case, we could shift it 1 up. So if we were, let's say for example, if this wasn't a skull and it wasn't the way down, because we want that, we could shift it up if we wanted to, if the way down was 1 up. Obviously in this case, we don't want to do that. And then the last one, watering can, the copper watering can. When you water your crops, move them all 2 spaces. That's nice. But we need a copper to upgrade that, and we don't have that right now. So I think we're just going to leave that there, and we're going to move on to the next turn. So you can see how this game is fairly fast-paced. I'm flying through this. Next one, we've got more rain. Good. So we can shove this off to the side here for the strawberry. Again, we've got the wandering pet, which we don't need to worry about, and we have selling, so we could sell potentially our smallmouth bass or our daffodil. Now we have to keep in mind that foraging is still in play here, mainly the fish tank actually. Foraging I'm not really concerned about because it is summer and we're not going to get to that this turn, but the fish tank is still in play if we wanted to reveal that and complete it. I don't think I'm going to do that right now. Wouldn't be terribly advantageous to me. I think what I am going to do, so we don't run the risk of losing this strawberry that's going to be fairly valuable for us, is we're going to start off, where are we going to start here? Got to make sure we can get back to our farm here. I think what we're going to do is we're going to take another crack at getting this angler. So, let's see, we're going to move our pawn over here to the lake fishing, and we're going to bust out these Stardew die. Oh my goodness, what a terrible roll. 2 hearts, and unfortunately that is not going to work for us for anything on the fish track right now because nothing is in the lake and requires 2 hearts. Bummer. So I'm looking at my items here before I forget that we have them. We can discard during our turn to gain any geo or ore from the supply. I think we're going to do that. So we've got this geos and ores item that we got from the wandering merchant, traveling merchant. We're going to go ahead and discard this item right here. We're going to pick up a copper ore. Then what we're going to do is, so we've gone lake fishing, and see, I don't think I watered the crops yet. I think I did. We're going to say that I did because I actually don't remember if I did or didn't. Woo, a lot going on in the game. Definitely good to play with multiple people than just one, so you make sure you keep track of what you're doing. We're going to say that I watered the crops. Actually, no, I didn't. The rain moved that to the right, didn't it? So I've gone lake fishing. That was my starting action. I'm going to move back over here to water my crops. And I'm going to pick up this foraging tile as I go by. It's another leek. That's right. And now I'm going to water and get the strawberry off of the field so a crow doesn't attack it. So that is everything, I believe. We gifted this leek to Demetrius. Yes, I believe that's all we're going to do here. So for my Kieran, now we have enough. We have the copper to upgrade, and I think we are going to discard this copper and upgrade our watering can to copper right here. So now we have the copper watering can. So let's go ahead and move on to the next card. We've got the flower dance. Each player with a friend gains 1 heart token. So this is exactly why I wanted to push to make a friend as soon as I could, because now we get the heart token because we have Demetrius as a friend. Excuse me, very good. So let's see here. We're still rocking 3 coins, 3 gold. Nowhere near enough for a barn or a coop yet. We've got the 2 heart tokens. We're going to need some more wood here. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to go... Interesting. I think we're going to go buy some seeds because we need to get some farming action back in here. So we've got 3 gold again. Let's see what we're gonna get. What are we gonna get? What exactly are we gonna get? So we can actually buy. So I think what we're gonna do is we're just gonna buy a parsnip and a potato. We're gonna save this 1 gold that we have. Parsnip and potato. Put them here and here. And we are going to sell. I believe we can at least sell the 1 strawberry for 4 gold. So we'll have 5 total. I'll put this 1 back and use this 5 stack gold that we have available to us. So put that 5 here, and I believe you can sell any number. So I'm debating about just cleaning out my inventory because we're getting a little full right now. You can also sell any resources from your inventory. This can be done in any order with planting. Any order with planting seeds. On most turns, you'll be able to sell goods via the shipping bin on season cards, but sometimes it is available, in which case you need to use this action. So I believe you can still just sell as much as you want. So we're going to do that. So we've sold our strawberry. We're also going to sell... I think we're going to sell this leek here worth 3. Just put it back over here, discarded, worth 3. So that was our first action, is going to Piers and getting some crops. And I think what we're going to do, because we still have this smallmouth bass and this daffodil, we're going to go try our luck and make another friend here. So we're going to pull up this villager card, and it's Alex. So he hates, he hates geodes, he hates artifacts, and he hates minerals. But he does like animal products. But the thing is, we don't have any of those things, but we can still give him either our fish or our daffodil. And his bonus is we can gain 1 random fish tile during the gift phase, which is really nice. He is also one of the eligible bachelors in the game. I'm not doing a good job at cameraing today. So we've got the mermaid tile icon right here. That means he can be potentially married. We won't get to that, but whenever I'm done with this round, I'll probably just go back into the rule book and dive in to see exactly what that entails. So we've made a friend. And we bought some seeds. And I'm looking at this magic rock candy to see if we want to do any of these underground stuff for free. And I'm trying to figure out if that means that we can execute it, but it still requires the... So I'm looking at like upgrading. Does that mean that we can do this for free, we can upgrade for free, or do we still have to pay the cost? I would think since it says for free, you could do it for free. So do we want to upgrade our hoe so we can stack, or do we want to upgrade our training rod to a bamboo rod so we can re-roll? I think that's the one we're going to go for. So I'm going to discard this magic candy card, and I'm gonna upgrade our training rod to a bamboo rod so we can re-roll, and we're gonna take another crack at that freaking fish. So we're gonna go ahead, and I think we are going to do that right now. Unfortunately, we're not gonna gain any forageables by doing that, but I've got a plan. So we're gonna go ahead and go off from this lake fishing here. We're gonna give her another go. Give me star drop. Well, that wasn't a real roll, but it was a star drop, darn it. I should have let it go. I should have let it go. But because we have the bamboo rod, we can re-roll one of these dies. I'm gonna re-roll, excuse me, the Junimo die. Bam. Oh my goodness, no! 2 hearts now. Oh, sad. Okay, that's okay. We're gonna go ahead, so we've taken the action here. We're gonna move back to watering the crops. And thanks to our iron watering can that we now have, or that's not correct. Where'd the copper watering can go? Hold on, technical difficulties. Where'd it go? I'm losing my marbles right now. Where did my watering can go? Well, I know it said 2. I remember that. I'm losing my mind right now. I really am. Am I going insane? Did I toss it somewhere? Got the hose, got the fire. Oh my goodness, I've lost my mind. Okay, it's still 2 because the iron watering can says 3, so I can assume that the other one is 2. So we're gonna water, and thanks to our copper watering can, both of these are gonna drop off and come into our inventory. Sorry about that. Oh no, it's in my here, right here, on my tools. So yeah, I thought about having the upgraded right here, but I'm just gonna drop them down so I don't lose my mind like I just did. So. There we go. So we've done all of our actions. We're going to go ahead and jump back into our farmhouse. Take a look and see if we can do any of these end of turn actions. We really can't, so we're going to move on. All right, we've got the egg festival. Each player rolls an animal die. For each chicken rolled, we gain 5 gold. Wow. All right, we're going to do it. 1 animal die. Give us chicken. We need chicken. Chicken. Well, a bunny is not what I wanted, but very cute nonetheless. Unfortunate. That also means we really didn't get the benefit of having the sell phase. This is also our last day of spring, as shown by the back of this card here. So the flip side of this is the end of round card that we'll be able to see here in a moment. So, not great. Not great. Let's see. So we've got 8 gold, but not enough to make an animal or a coop. We don't have any geodes. Really, I think the best thing in this case that we can do is go sell our potato and parsnip at Pierre's. Oh, very unfortunate. We almost could. Oh, okay, that's what we'll do so we can complete the bundle. That's what we'll do. Okay. We're going to go down here. We're going to go to Pierre's and sell. We're going to get these potatoes and parsnips here. 2 and 3s for 5. Now we've got 10. So we'll just exchange these 2 5s for these 10 stack here. Excuse me, my nose is running. So we've done that, and we're going to take a double action here. We're going to make another friend because we have a small mound boss and a daffodil, and our odds of drawing someone that doesn't like either of those things is really slim. Here we go. Okay, well, I was right. The wizard coming in clutch. He doesn't love anything. He doesn't hate anything. He doesn't give us a bonus, but that doesn't matter. We're making a friend. We're going to discard our daffodil to gain 3 friends. That completes this goal for Grandpa, making 3 friends times the number of players, which is just me by the end of the game. So we got to complete one of these goals just in time, coming in clutch. Very good. Awesome. So those are our 2 actions. We're done. So we come back here. And now here we go. Last day of spring. Spring has ended. We would place new trees and forageable tiles. We'd draw 2 new profession upgrades and keep 1. In our case, we're going to draw 4 and keep 1. And then we draw the next season tile. We'll look at these profession upgrades, but we're obviously not going to go into the next round. So let's go ahead and take a look at 1 of each profession upgrade. So let's see. We're actually supposed to have these face down, and I don't. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to draw from the topmost card in every deck. Mainly because I'm just now having to look at the bottommost card in every deck because I Didn't realize at the start that these were going to be secret. So let's go ahead and draw from one of every profession we have: foraging, fishing, mining, and farming. So first up, we've got foraging. We've got either a lumberjack, where we can sell wood for 4 gold each, or a tapper. Villagers always accept forageables from you as gifts, even if they hate them, I'm assuming. That's nice. So those are the potential foraging upgrades we can get. Those are for profession upgrades, excuse me. We've got for mining, excavator. We can spend 2 actions to gain 1 artifact. Or minerals generate +2 gold when you sell them. That's nice. The gemologist or the excavator. For farming, we've got either the rancher. Animal products generate +2 gold when you sell them, so they're worth more. Or the tiller. Crops generate +2 gold when you sell them. So one's focused on animals, the other's focused on crops. And the last one in fishing, we've got the mariner. Before fishing, you may discard up to 2 fish from the fish track and draw to replace. Or you've got the lure master. When you fish, you may first gain any 1 crab pot fish from the fish track. That's really nice. Awesome. So those are the different professions we would get. If I were playing the game right now, I'd probably say I'd take the tiller, the crops being worth +2 gold, and the rest of these would get discarded into their own piles. I'm not going to worry about that now. I'm just going to put them right back on top because I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up here. That was a fairly quick overview on 1 round of Stardew Valley, or 1 full complete season of Stardew Valley. The rest of these cards are basically the same, nothing too fancy about them. Obviously, they've got the different artworks, we've got the different festivals here. The night market is probably hands down one of my favorite cards. It looks so good. So nothing too terribly different about them. The summer, fall, and winter, I believe all 3 of them have 3 different festivals in them, whereas spring only had 1, so it's kind of a little bit of a lull into what you can expect for the game, which is nice. It does also, again, follow the video game. I believe the flower festival, oh no, the egg festival, excuse me, there were 2, my bad. I always forget about the egg festival. I skip it. I spend my day on the farm for that. And you need to go hunting eggs, especially when you become all powerful and become the best farmer that Pelican Town has ever seen. I'm kidding, by the way, that was a joke. So, I really hope you enjoyed this hodgepodge of a quick gameplay showing of Stardew Valley. I might do a full gameplay from start to finish on this whenever I have a little more time, but today that just wasn't really in the cards. So, if you've enjoyed this, please leave a like to let me know. If you happen to join this live and I missed you, I'm so sorry about that. But I really hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed your stay here at the Tabletop Inn, and we'll see you next time. Take care.